battle.
Ave Tribunistas, here on Tribun again, today with a special episode, because as you can see, Max is not around, and I have the honor to present to you the rule set of the game, right? Because usually we play and you see the matches, and it's very entertaining and funny and sometimes educational, and sometimes you see breakdowns, but maybe people ask us, can you make a video about the rule set? Because it's like in chess, you do not usually read a manual about chess. Nobody did. But a lot of people on the planet can at least move the pieces. Right? That's funny. So yeah, you can learn from the manual, but I get it. It's better to be told how to play this on the board. And we will start with what we call the 90% rules, because then you can get accustomed to this rule set, get all the mechanics on the board, and after playing some games, you can switch to the 100% rules, and then it's going to be insane. You can go down to the description below. You can leave a like and subscribe, of course, but you can also go to our homepage, tribun.org. There you find everything from the manuals, the pieces, and the board to print out. You can order via email from us. We will send you a copy to your home country. And of course, you can download the DLC for the Tabletop Simulator, because what you see in the background is from the Tabletop Simulator, and our DLC is for free. And you can also play against the computer. Well, we do not waste time. Just starting with the 90% rule set. The music in the background, by the way, is by Mr. Darren Curtis. And I just show you quick the chart. This is your arsenal of your army. You have the servos, 1 high, Hastatus 2 high, Sagittarius 3 high, and so on and so forth. And you see the patterns. Blue means, well, the unit can go there but not attack. Red means it can attack there but not walking there. And the mixture of both is purple, and then the unit can go and attack on these fields. However, the first 3 soldiers cannot be blocked or hindered. There is no way. They can always reach their destination spots, whereas a unit with an arrow, it means this pattern can be repeated unlimited up until the point that the board ends, or you encounter an allied or an enemy unit. Then you have to stop. You cannot jump over it. But let's go into the board view and start with this tiny little dude. It's a little homage to chess. You see he's walking just ahead, and the enemy can do the same. And now they encounter, and as you see, the red circle indicates now I can go there because I can attack. I take it, and now I can be re-attacked, and so on and so forth. The next higher unit is the Hastatus. The Hastatus, as you can see by this chart, is going to the directly adjacent fields of the same color. Just one step. So, this dude walks on the dark hexagons, because it's on the dark hexagons, and you see this pattern. We can go and walk. Quite simple. Now, the next unit is the Sagittarius, and we take again a look at the chart, and this may seem a little more complicated, but trust me, after some games it's not. You will see this pattern easily and recognize it. It reminds you, maybe when you're accustomed to chess, it's like the knight in chess. See, it's like 1, 2, 3 with a tilt, but you can also you can also go like the Hastatus, jumping 1 to the same color and 1 field further, or you can search for this Y shield shape. There are several ways to memorize this pattern. Let's get back to this screen. You see 1, 2, 3 with a tilt, 1, 2, 3 with a tilt. Now, what's at hand is this circle-like shape, and yeah, it's very fitting for an archer, right? Very versatile unit, by the way. Okay, the next higher unit is the Equus, the heavy rider, and as I said before, it has this arrow shape pattern. This means it can go anywhere, and it can reach far distances. It can cover these distances in one swift move. And as you can see from this spot here, I can as well attack there, but usually this wouldn't be a good move. I'm taking here, but now this spearsman and this archer can fire at me, and I will be dying instantly. So I won't do it. By the way, this pattern is not blocking the Equus. He can ride past through these two dudes, but if one of those is standing in their way, then you see the circles end here. You cannot jump over it. In this case, you can take because it's an enemy unit. And if, let's say, there would be an own unit, then you see there's this white circle. I'm getting blocked by my own unit. And, well, my movement ends here if I want to do it. And the last unit for the 90% rule set, I mean the last unit of your regular army, is the Ballista. And the Ballista, well, it seems, again, a little difficult, but, well, the movement pattern is exactly like from the Equus. So that would mean, if you pick it up, we just follow the turquoise circles, just focus on them. We can move with our unit here, and we can go with our unit here, and we can go here. But as you may notice, we cannot attack this Sagittarius, because it's a walking pattern. Or, if you like, hike and strike pattern, you attack and walk. And that's very interesting, because, for example, an Equus on the same colors from the opponent can attack the Ballista, but the Ballista cannot strike back. Whereas the Ballista can, let's take a look at the attack pattern, can attack like the red arrows indicate. The red arrows say, well, you go over these lines, these, in chess you would say files, not like the diagonals, but straight. And this means let's pick it up. Let's pick up the unit. And the golden circles indicate that this is something like scanning the area for an enemy. Is there an enemy? No. No, it's like the radar rays or something like that. And when these golden rings hit an enemy unit, then the circle indicates, well, now I can attack this unit. This means, well, I can take here and I can go there. But I cannot jump over to this unit and attack the archer behind. This is not possible. It is blocked. And regarding these files here, means I'm threatening these fields, but I cannot go there up until the point when an enemy steps ahead. Now I see this enemy unit I can take and I can strike. And you may notice the movement pattern says, well, you're going on the same colored field, so you're not changing the color. But if an enemy, let's say, is standing on the white hexagons now, I'm attacking from a dark hexagon and I'm going here. Now, by attacking an enemy unit, I changed the color complex I'm working on. This is interesting. You can use it as a tactic in this game. But we will not dive into tactics right now. And the last real unit now of the complete army is, of course, your Tribune, right? This is the dude you have to protect. You have to bring down the enemy unit the enemy Tribune. That's when the game ends, when you strike it. By the way, there's nothing like a stalemate or something. You can have a stalemate, but not like in chess. In chess, you're not allowed to move when it sets up an attack on your Tribune. Or on your king. We are in chess. In Tribun, Pugna pro Cannae, by the way, that's the whole name of the game, Tribun Pugna pro Cannae. This is, well, then you strike, then you just kill the enemy Tribune and you win the game. Okay, yeah, and the Tribune, as you see, is just walking and attacking on the same colored fields. You see the pattern here on the right hand corner. Purple indicates, yeah, you can walk there, and that's it. Very simple. Okay, now we know all the units, but how do we get bigger units? I mean, we start usually with a max height of 3. How can we achieve this? So that's a process we call combining or merging. You have 2 allied units and you search for an adjacent field that's neighboring both of these units, and in this case it's this dark hexagon. This means I can now donate as many pieces from every participating unit as I like. So this would be one legal move. Okay? In one move I can pick as many pieces as I like from one and the other unit. I can do as well something like that. This is also possible and allowed. What I cannot do is taking 3 from here and taking 2 from here. Then you see this red X. Why? Because there is a unit of 1 and of 2 and of 3 and of 4 and of 6, but not a unit of 5. Yeah, and that means you cannot build a unit of 5. Yeah, and that's basically it. The important part is just 2 units merge when there is a third unit, and it could be, no, you have to decide, do these 2 merge or these 2 merge or these 2 merge, but not all the 3 together in one move. That's not possible. And the field has to be free beforehand, so if there is an enemy unit or an allied unit on this field, well, it was the only field these 2 dudes could have combined on, and now it's not possible. They cannot stack up these pieces onto this already existing unit. Yeah, that's so far for the combination process. Very, very natural. But what do we do when we need smaller units? How can we achieve that? Well, you have a bigger unit, let's say this ballista here, and now in one move you're allowed to scatter the single pieces on as many fields in the direct vicinity, including the original field. So the maximum distribution field number is 7, 1 plus 6 around, and but the destination fields have to be free beforehand. If there is an enemy on it or an allied unit, well, these fields are not free, and you see these division signs dividing up the pieces that show, well, you can go here, 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 and here. The other fields are not possible for this decombination or splitting process. But let's not do it too complex. Now you are allowed to do whatever you like. You can do something like that. This is one move. You split up one unit in as many units as you like in one move. What's obviously not possible is do something like that, because it would be a unit of 5. And what also is not possible is saying, well, that's a decombination because no, you did not split up the unit. It's still whole, and you have to split it up. So at least at the end of the move, there must be 2 occupied fields by your pieces. Yeah, but you can leave the original field free. You can leave it occupied. You can also do something like this in one. No, not like that. Like that. In one move. Everything is according to the rules. But keep in mind, growing bigger, you need 2 units only. And it takes a long time for these 6 units to grow to a ballista again. And usually, if you want to attack, you need the bigger units with the bigger reach. Okay, this is the decombination. And by the way, the Tribune, we haven't said any word about it. The Tribune is also allowed to merge. Yeah, you heard right. Unlike in other games of the genre, you can merge your Tribune with your soldiers. This has an advantage for the Tribune himself. He's now growing bigger, and he's 3 pieces high because he was standing now on a double, on a status. And now this whole unit is in a Sagittarius because it's 3 high. And now the Tribune behaves like the Sagittarius. We remember this, yeah, this circle-like shape. However, it has a disadvantage because the 2 pieces now are stuck below the Tribune. They cannot fight in the field for their leader. And from this point on, you have to consider this unit to be a whole. Like you glued it together, it will never split up in this game again. So this means you really have to decide if you want that. Because you can only grow bigger, but you will never grow smaller. And yeah, a Sagittarius is quite good for escaping purposes, and it's quite strong for attacking. It has a nice movement pattern. But let's say when you somehow have this situation and you say, well, I'm combining here, now I'm an Equus. Yeah, now you're stuck to one color complex, right? There are 3 colors on this board with 91 fields, and now you cut away 60 of them. You have just 30 fields to use, and that's usually not that good. And as well, if you have something like that and you need to combine, now you cannot combine. You cannot combine on this field. Why? Because you would do something like that, and this is a forbidden piece. It's not a unit that's allowed. Because, as I said, the unit is like glued together. This means for further combinations, you always have to use it in a whole. You cannot say, well, I'm taking 1 here and 3 here, and it remains being an Equus. But no. You were obliged to take all these 4 pieces, and that's too much. Yeah, so that's it for the units, the decombination splitting, and the merging process. Now, how do we fight in Tribun, right? Because it's a battle simulation. There must be some kind of a belligerent encounter. And there is. Let's say we have a situation like that. There is a ballista, and it is now being attacked by 3 different pieces of the opposing army. The Servus, attacking slantwise ahead. This Hastatus, attacking on the directly adjacent same colored fields. And the Sagittarius with this 3 with a tilt pattern. Now, if you carry out the attack just with a Servus, you can choose it, then you would of course take 1 piece. In this particular case, well, there is no unit of 5, right? You take an additional piece. Even if you're just attacking with the Servus, this makes the Servus a little stronger against the big units. Ballista. and of course the Centuria, but we didn't take a look at it. But you could also have taken just the status. Then you of course take 2 pieces away. That's quite natural. And if you take with the Sagittarius, you take 3 pieces away. But already at this point you see, well, whatever I do, I change the shape of the target unit. Now it's not a ballista, but now it's a Sagittarius, and maybe it can strike back in the next move. Because I turned it into something that may be very hostile and dangerous for me. But you can combine the attacks. This is quite special, because on a real battlefield, they are not saying, well, this is your dude, do it alone. No, they work together. They wanted to win. So the Hestatus can accompany the Savus, and then both of them attack. So you can take these both, and 1 + 2 is 3. You can take 3 pieces with these 2. You can combine 1 + 3 pieces from the Sagittarius, and you take 4 pieces. Or you take the Hestatus and the Sagittarius, then you take 5 pieces. Or you can combine all together, and then you are allowed to eradicate the opposing unit completely. In this particular case, when the target field is free due to your attack, you have to take the freed spot with 1 of your units. 1 of your units. And I mean 1 of the attacking units. So you cannot combine them while attacking. This is not allowed. But usually you use the smaller ones to shove them ahead and protect them from the rear. But there can be times that it's differently better. You are always obliged to do that when you free the enemy spot. And what I told beforehand, only the units that participated in the attack. Let's just real quick, no, not like that, undo what I did. Man, this is going to be... So, I had this ballista, and you see I'm attacked by 1, 2, 3 units. This ballista, however, is not participating in the attack. The turquoise fields say you can walk on this pattern, but you cannot attack there. So if these 3 attack the ballista, you take the 6 pieces away. Now you are not allowed to take the freed field with your ballista, because it didn't participate in the attack. However, there is one thing to add, because we took a look at the Tribune, and well, if he already absorbed these soldiers beneath, then you may think it made him stronger or protected him in any way, but that's not the case. If just a Savus would reach out for the Tribune, he would be allowed to take 1 piece, right? And as you always take from the upper hand side, you pick the Tribune, and the Tribune dies, and the game ends. That's it. Thanks so far. These are the 90% rules, and maybe at this point you make a cut, go to the board, play it, leave a like, share it with your friends, because you need opposing players, right? And then you can get back to this video and start from here, because now we are going to the 100% rule set. Maybe you're curious already, then take a glance at these rules, but trust me, play with the 90% rule set first, because you just learn the mechanics better. It's overwhelming if you do everything instantly in one go. So let's, yeah, the load button, and again the music by Darren Curtis. And now the 100% rules, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. For this, we take another look at the chart. We have one unit remaining. By the way, usually when we are on an exhibition, we tell players the story of the game. It's quite short because this has historical implications. It's the real name of the game is Tribun, Pugna pro Cannae, which means the Battle of Cannae, which really took place in August 216 BC, where an army of the Roman Republic and Carthaginian forces clashed in one of history's most renowned battles. And it was the most devastating defeat Rome ever suffered. So, because of the tactics by the Carthaginian leader, Hannibal Barca, this ingenuity was unheard of, and he managed to defeat the Romans, which were the most devastating power on the land. So his tactics are still taught today in military academies around the world, and we found that remarkable and chose it as a setup for our game. Well, now let's take a look at the Centuria. It may seem complicated, but it means instantly, or basically, you can instantly kill everything in the vicinity of 2 fields around your own unit, but you have these red dots. These red dots say on the diagonals you can just attack, you cannot walk there. So how does that look like on the real board? Let's just build one. Yeah, this one is very strong. I mean, it is 8 pieces high. This means every other unit will die instantly by this unit. And it can reach out 2 fields, as I said. Of course, it can be blocked, so I cannot reach the status behind the servos. But, however, there is a special feature about this unit, because if you have something like that, just focus on the ballista, the servos, and the Centuria, then this ballista is blocked by my unit, and, well, there is nothing else to be said. Let's say the ballista is protected by this equus. You may think, well, maybe this is good, but it's not. Because at first the servos can attack. You could just take 2 pieces away. But the Centuria is allowed to jump over allied units, so it supports the servos. And now we deal 1 plus 8 damage points in total. That means 9 points, so we can take this unit entirely, and according to the rules, we can use just the small servos to take its place. And now, well, yeah, it's protected, but you won't go here and lose the equus again. You lost 10 pieces of material, and we just lost 1. Okay, so this is the Centuria, very powerful and usually used in defensive situations. If you managed, however, to build a Centuria Tribune, this may seem like, well, this is good, right? Well, this one is protected, so you cannot take. If I attack with the servos, well, it's just I'm taking 1 piece away, then you die. Yeah, so what can we do about that? The Centuria, it is powerful, but we have a lot of videos on this channel already where usually Max showed us how to hunt this properly, and I can tell you there are patterns when you hunt it down with your... See, this archer, for example, just this archer is taking away these 2 fields and these 2 fields. And these are the walking fields of the Centuria, so I cannot go there. I can go here, but let's say you have a situation like in Ghostbusters. Hey, now you're crossing the race and, well, you cannot go here and there. These two dudes are holding him in place, and it can become very difficult to escape even with the Centuria, because it's not that fast and you cannot go on the diagonal fields. Don't forget about that. That's a limitation that's very crucial in many situations. Okay, so enough about the Centuria. Now you know basically all the units possible in this game. What's also within the 100% rule set? Well, we have symmetrical combinations. What does that mean? Well, usually just 2 units may participate in a merging process. So these 2 could combine on this field, here and here. But you may notice the blue signs. The blue signs, a plus sign says 2 units can merge there, and this triple sign here says, well, now you have this symmetry. This means in one go you can do something like that, because it's a symmetry around this center spot. It's a triangle symmetry. You can have this triangle symmetry also like that. This is also a triangle symmetry. But the units have to be identical. By the way, if there are additional units around, this does not hurt this shape. It's still symmetrical and you can still do something like that. But, as I said, they have to be identical. That means if one unit is something like that, you see there are just plus signs. There is no possibility of this symmetry merging. If, however, you have 3 hesteri, well, then you have the symmetry again. And you can in one go build a ballista. So this can be very powerful. In this case, not really, because there's an archer guarding. But yeah, it can be a fantastic way to produce a lot of powerful units in one go. You can see it as a setup like, I have this, and now this is like a weapons factory, because you can in one move build a ballista, move it away, and then again build a ballista in the next move. In 3 moves you have 2 ballistae. Yeah, however, the enemy will do something about it, because you can aim at the center spots and then you probably cannot merge there. Okay, this is it for the triangles, but what about this? Is this a symmetry too? Yes, you can have this hexagon symmetry. You see the sign in the middle, yet now you see this hexagon. You can merge all 6 together in one go. But they have to be identical. If one piece is not like the others, then there is no symmetry. And this also includes the Tribun, like, say we have something like that, we have 3 hesteri, right? But when you would change or switch 2 of these units, would it still look the same? No, of course not, because the Tribun looks different. And so there is no possibility of combining in a symmetrical shape. You see it here. And also, like when you have, I will show you in an instant what that means, but this is possible in this game. Now, can we still use a symmetry? No. We cannot, because this unit is not identical. It has something different beneath, and now it's different. So, You can use these shapes. Usually, I mean, these hesteri are very, very solid when they walk together. You leave a lot of space on the different colored fields, of course. But these three are very, very tight. And on the same same go, you can use them to create the symmetry. That's a possibility as a tactic in the game. Now, we have the Centuria, we have symmetrical combinations. What's left is what we call Impero. And Impero, well, that's completely another level. Okay, what does it mean? Let's say we have a situation like that. Not the Tribune. Now, let's put this one aside, because you really have to focus on this situation here. As you may know, according to the rules, you can eradicate the entire unit because we are attacking with both units together. So adding 1 plus 2 is 3. We can take 3 pieces. But instead, we are also allowed to take Impero. That means we can place now one of the attackers on top. The first thing you have to notice is there is a rule that you cannot do whatever you want, because you need as many sentinels on top, so guarding soldiers, so that they match with, how can I describe it? You have to have at least the half of units on top, then you have taken prison or taken hostage. So if we take a 3 high unit like the Sagittarius, we need at least 1.5 soldiers, and you have to round it up. So 2 pieces, you need 2 soldiers, 1 would not be enough. So at the same point, this means you cannot take Impero like that. That's not allowed. This unit is too weak. It cannot hold the 3 in place or in custody. Okay, and that also implies when at any point of the game your unit gets beaten with 1 point here and you lose 1 piece. Now this Impero rule is the one on top is not sufficient, and then you lose it as well. Now the Servus in this case was able to free his allied unit, even though he wasn't strong enough to beat an status, but he could beat 1 point, and then the prisoners freed themselves. Okay, so this indicates already that an Impero unit is kind of weak. It's vulnerable to a lot of attacks. Okay. Is an Impero unit allowed to participate in merging processes? Can we merge? Can we split? Yes, you can. You can. But you have to keep in mind you need always to comply with the Impero rules. So in this case, we have 2 pieces free for combination processes. Just 2. You can take 1 and merge like that. That's allowed. You can take 2 and 1 from here. That's allowed. But you cannot take 3, because then the 1 on top is not enough. But you can as well take all 4. This is possible, but not in this case, because then you merge with 1, and this means there is a 5 high unit and there is no unit of 5, so it's getting complicated at this point. Are we allowed to split? Yes, as I said before, we are allowed. You can say this is a legal splitting. You can also say this or this. It's a legal splitting. You can as well say, well, I'm distributing all my pieces down. This is also legal, but you free the enemy unit. now in the next move he can use it against you. So usually you keep it under control. If at any point you think, man, it doesn't serve my purpose anymore, then these red arrows indicate you can get rid of your hostages. You can put the unit above on any free field in the vicinity, and in the same movement eradicate the opposing unit from the board. This is allowed. Because in the attack you were allowed to kill them, now you're allowed to kill them as well. Okay, so these are the basic mechanics, but what is an Impro unit good for if it's so vulnerable, and why should I do it, right? Well, it's very powerful as well, because you can now consider this as a unit of your side. So even if you have just an aesthetic on top, you have the ability of the Sagittarius below. Now you can go here, you can go here, you can all do all this stuff, but only when you pick up the entire unit. That means the pieces below and your units on top. If you, however, just pick your pieces, you are allowed to do that and go according to their pattern. Then you are moving like an aesthetic, but in this case you leave the unit. Now it's free again and can be used against you. So usually you may not want to do it. You can, however, there can be situations like that, for example. Now the Servus is attacking this one, and this Hestetus on top is also attacking. Now you are allowed to take Impro. You can take it. You can just take it. You can, what can you do? You can take 3 pieces and you can do something like that. That's okay. You can take 3 pieces and do something like that. That's okay. Or you can jump from one Impro situation to another. That's also okay. So that's... why should you do that? I don't know. In many situations in the game it can be very useful, and then you do it, right? And especially, so that means you have the pattern of the Sagittarius and the pattern of the Hestetus. So you have 2 patterns combined, and that means you are threatening a lot of fields with just one unit, and especially when you are coming close to the Tribune, you are attacking the Tribune, but you cannot move here because you're also attacking this field with your own unit. So this can be very useful when you attack, and there are even some situations where something like a Scholar's made, Scholar's next, because the Tribune is somehow suffocated, and just this one versatile unit is bringing him down. Yeah, I got it. Now I remember what I wanted to tell you. Let's say we have a situation like that, or let's pick a different situation. We have this, and this. And now we take Impero here. That's very interesting, because now the Tribune is quite agile. He can ride on this horsey, but he also has his bow. This makes him very powerful, and even now he's completely enabled to attack the Tribune on his own. And at any point he can kill this horsey and jump around. So what you really like to do is putting your Tribune on top on an enemy unit, because you get additional fields not just the movement fields of the opposing party, but you also get all the free fields around you with this one-time killing process. So this is a good opportunity to make a run for. And very, very important, the Equus is the biggest unit that is allowed to take Impero. A ballista, let's say that's the situation, a ballista is not allowed to take Impero. So isn't the Centuria. Centuria and ballista can never stay on top on an enemy unit. However, if you have something like that and like that, now these two are attacking the ballista, and now I can take the ballista hostage. So that means the biggest unit you can have in this game is an Equus on a Centuria, 12 high. This is absolute maximum. Yeah, in this case you wouldn't do it, of course, because now the Centuria can swiftly free the ballista again. But yeah, that's the rule set for the 100% rules. Now you have the 90% rules, the 100% rules, and now really feel free to try everything on this board. Maybe go into our channel. There are vast over hundreds of videos that you can already watch and see what ridiculous situations can occur on this board. Have fun playing, be part of our community, and see us soon on Tribun.